Warning. Some of the church habits you've normalized are the very reason your breakthrough is being delayed. You pray, fast, serve, and shout, "Amen," louder than anyone else. Yet deep down you feel stuck, frustrated, and spiritually dry. And the reason isn't always the devil. Sometimes it's a system of habits disguised as holiness. One of the most dangerous is the performance spirit, yes, the hidden belief that the louder your worship, the longer your fast, or the more visible your service, the more God owes you something in return. That mindset secretly turns your relationship with God into a transaction, not a covenant. And He doesn't move through manipulation. He moves through surrender. Psalm 51 verse 17. You might be lifting your hands in church while still holding on to pride in your heart, refusing to forgive someone God has told you to release. That silent grudge has become a spiritual dam, blocking the flow of your blessing. Mark 11 verse 25. And let's talk about comfort zones disguised as church involvement. You've mistaken busyness for obedience. You attend every service, volunteer on every team, but deep down you know God told you to start that ministry, apply for that opportunity, walk away from that relationship, but you stayed seated in the pew because the church gave you applause, while obedience would have required isolation. Remember, Abraham had to leave familiar territory before he ever saw the promise, Genesis 12 verse 1. Then there's the habit of only listening to voices that confirm your desires, prophetic addiction, where you run from conference to conference chasing a word instead of sitting with the word that's already been spoken. You don't need another prophetic encounter if you're ignoring what God already said in the quiet place. Obedience is still better than sacrifice. 1 Samuel 15 verse 22. Another subtle habit that's sabotaging you is idolizing spiritual leaders. Yes, honoring your pastor is biblical, but when their opinion carries more weight than God's instruction to your spirit, you've crossed into idolatry. Some of you won't step out in faith until someone with a title gives you permission, and God is saying, "I already authorized you." You don't need a microphone to be anointed. Even Jesus didn't get man's approval. He was driven into the wilderness by the Spirit, not by the church. Matthew 4 verse 1. And here's the one nobody talks about: secret unbelief wrapped in spiritual language. You say God's timing, but really you're afraid. You say, "I'm waiting on confirmation," but truthfully you've already heard Him. You just don't trust that He'll catch you if you step out. This is why breakthroughs get blocked, not because heaven is silent, but because your faith is. James 1 verse 6 says the double-minded person receives nothing, yet you speak in tongues in service and spiral in doubt by Monday morning. Until you break up with the habits that feel spiritual but lack power, you'll keep circling the same wilderness, crying out for things God already said yes to. You want the Red Sea to part but won't raise the staff in your hand. You want the walls to fall but haven't walked the obedience route around Jericho. Breakthrough doesn't respond to emotion, it responds to alignment. So here's the hard truth: until you confront the church habits you've romanticized, the rituals, the routines, the religious performance, you will unknowingly build altars to delay, not destiny. Stop blaming the devil for what your disobedience is sustaining. Ask yourself, am I addicted to church culture, or am I surrendered to kingdom purpose? Because one will keep you busy, the other will make you dangerous.